Hey there. I think one of the hardest and most scariest things as a manager is when you pick up the phone and the other person on the line says, Hey, I'm one of your VIP clients, and you may or may not know this, but your intern or your entry level employee just told me this. And what your intern or entry level employee said was not professional, not appropriate, or the email they sent is not professional or appropriate, and your stomach just kind of like drops, right? I had this happen once and it was pretty awful. Mostly because it was totally surprising from the people that had sent the email to a client, but it was totally uncalled for and unacceptable. But you have to have the conversation afterward, and that can be also like a very difficult thing to do too. So if you find yourself in this situation, start with a question. So ask your employee, your intern, how do you think this email went? Or how do you think this conversation went? That helps you gauge like where they're at with things, because they might be saying like, I'm pretty awesome. And then you have a lot of work to do. They might say, oh, I don't know. I wasn't quite sure what to say. That kind of puts you on a different playing field. And so asking that question helps you gauge how to respond. Talk specifically with them about what didn't work. So don't sugarcoat it. Just be very honest, especially if you're working with Gen Z. This is a group of people that is used to getting feedback. They don't, of course, this is a generalization, but as a group, they don't necessarily take things as personally as other people do because they're used to getting lots of feedback. So make sure to be really honest and be specific. Give examples, point out if you have the email, pull up the email and talk through maybe like how the wording maybe was taken differently by the audience, or if it was a conversation, make sure to say, this is, I talked to the person and this is what they were most upset about when you talked with them. Um, if possible, also give a personal example. Tell them a time when you um, like you said something and you messed up, or you were a part of a conversation that didn't go the way that people expected, and that is going to help build rapport and build your relationship, and also help your employee understand that like everybody makes mistakes, nobody's perfect, and it's going to happen. And really like learning to be a professional is a, learning from your mistakes, but b, also like working through what happens. And then at the end of your conversation, mutually agree on what's going to happen next time. So if they get into a similar situation, how are they going to react to it? Do you want them to come and talk to you? Do you want them to come and talk to somebody else? But just like being clear about what you want to be different and for both of you to be on the same page is really important. And then the last thing is write it down. So when you're done with the conversation, email the employee or the intern, and say like, hey, this is what we talked about. This is what we're going to do next time. Especially, again, Gen Z is used to having things in writing. And so the more that you can have it clearly laid out and sort of like step by step, the easier it's going to be for them to follow it. And it gives them a resource to go back to. So maybe they don't have to come and bug you the next time they run into something similar. They'll be able to like sort of like work through the problem on their own. And finally, if you don't have time to do this training, I'm so excited, but in September, we're going to be launching a whole new program to train interns that will be all online. There'll also be a survival guide for managers, so that's sort of like one box. And then the second box is that we're bringing back the Bright Leader, or the Bright Manager Circle, I should say. It's going to be resources and a once a month conversation that's going to be for specifically managers who need some extra skills to help them move your team forward. All right, as always, remember, reach out if there's anything I can help you with. Times are really weird, they're still weird. So give yourself some space and give everybody else some grace, because we're back to making some difficult decisions. All right, keep rocking, and I look forward to connecting with you back here soon.